Welcome to Vietnam Journal, our daily English news bulletin on net Việt VTC 10. I'm Ngọc speaking from Hanoi. Every day we'll bring you comprehensive and up-to-date information on Vietnam and following major stories on Thursday. Global magazine hosts summit on Vietnam economy. CNN reporter shares journalism experience with Vietnamese reporters. And we'll explore a traditional Vietnam's broadcasting village on the way of development. The third Vietnam Summit organized by Britain's prestigious international magazine, The Economist, took place in Hanoi on Wednesday. This year's event was titled Vietnam, a New Part to the New World.
More than 200 senior participants, including Vietnamese authorities, domestic and regional business leaders, as well as scholars, attended the event. Attendance discussed economic opportunities and challenges for Vietnam in the year 2012. They suggested a number of measures for Vietnam to improve its economy. The proposals included curbing high inflation, strengthening the dong currency, and restructuring the economy. Vietnam was forecast to benefit from dynamic demography and high potential for industrial development. The Economist is considered a leading source of analysis on international business and world affairs.
On the sidelines of the Vietnam Summit 2012, many experts share their opinion of Vietnam's economic opportunities and challenges in 2012. Some of them also suggested solutions for sustainable development in the country.
Vietnam is a land of opportunity, and that's really what today's conference is about. It shows you how to invest, what works, what doesn't work, and how important it is to meet and talk to Vietnamese people as well as politicians to make sure that your investment is good, long-term and sustainable.
Look, without a doubt, it's becoming very, very competitive to attract investors to every country, including Vietnam. So one thing that's really important, and the government understands this, is improving the economic stability of Vietnam. That means encouraging inflation down, it means lowering interest rates over time, and ensuring that economic growth is maintained so that Vietnam is a nice place and an attractive place for people to invest. The second thing really is that companies need to understand that Vietnam is a place where they can both grow their top line and reduce their costs.
Well, I think it's quite clear that the government has been beginning to tackle inflation in 2011, and we've seen some progress there. We've seen inflation in the last month or two come down a little bit. We're expecting inflation to moderate even further in 2012, but I suppose there's always going to be a tension between the need to continue the economy growing, and it's going to grow anywhere between 5.5% to 6.5% over the coming year, and the difficult global conditions that Vietnam finds itself in at the moment, and whether the government will choose to try and stimulate the economy or choose to keep a prudent, cautious approach to managing inflation and managing the deficits, we'll have to see.
Well, I think that it's very encouraging that the government has recognized there needs to be restructuring of the financial sector. And I think that there are four particular areas, all linked, that need to be addressed. The first is the liquidity of the banking system, to ensure that banks are able to fund the loans that they are making. The second thing is capital, to ensure that they have enough capital to absorb losses and to be able to support the loans they're making. The third area where I need to focus is around the sustainability of banks' business models, because there are many banks out there, probably too many banks, and some of them don't do anything very well, don't do anything unique, and whether those banks should survive or not is part of the restructuring exercise. And the fourth area that the restructuring needs to focus on is around governance. One of the main ways they can do that is through the inspection department, who not only can tell the state bank whether banks are complying with regulations, but can also see whether problems are building up in the future, and therefore direct banks to address those issues before they really become problems.
And following is some other economic news in brief.
A top executive of the ultra luxury car maker Rolls-Royce said on Wednesday they are now entering Thailand and also looking at Vietnam, Indochina for opportunities. The German-owned British automaker also announced sales jumped 31% to 3,538 vehicles last year, up from the 2,711 units in 2010. This was the highest ever annual total in the company's 107-year history. Purchased by BMW in 1998, the company currently has 14 dealer networks in China and another dozen in Asia-Pacific area, including Seoul, Tokyo, and New Delhi, among others. Johnny Wan, Senior Exhibition Manager of the Hong Kong Trade Development Council, has encouraged Vietnamese enterprises, particularly small and medium-sized, to take part in international trade fairs in Hong Kong. He said showcasing products in Hong Kong is a quick way to promote brands and build business links. Last year, 54 Vietnamese exhibitors joined Hong Kong's fairs, while the number of Vietnamese goods buyers reached nearly 2,200.
Representatives of the Vietnam National Coal and Mineral Industries Group, or Vinacomin, said at a meeting held on January the 10th that Vietnam will need to import 3 million to 10 million tons of coal a year by 2015, rising to 21 million to 40 million annually by 2012 as new coal-fired power plants are built. The shift from net exporter to importer comes as Vietnam grapples with the growing power shortfall that has brought chronic blackouts and is widely cited as one of the biggest barriers to foreign investments. Most of the imported coal is expected to come from Indonesia and Australia.
Tea and coffee are two commodities forecast to bring big profits to Vietnam this year. The country has become the second biggest coffee exporter in the world, with total annual yield of more than 1 million tons, worth more than $2 billion. Like other agricultural products, the prices of tea and coffee went up last year. The country exported 131,000 tons of tea, totaling $198 million in 2011.
Vietnam Journal. It's not just news, it's life in Vietnam.
Welcome back to Vietnam Journal. Veteran CNN anchor Jan Hopkins addressed a press conference in Hanoi on Wednesday. The event was hosted by the United States Embassy and attracted the participation of reporters.
The conference received great attention from female journalists in Hanoi. Almost of the attendees at the conference were young reporters and female journalism students. Jan Hopkins shared experiences of her 30-year career in journalism, skills needed to achieve work-life balance, and personalities to become a good independent journalist. The conference offered great opportunities for Vietnamese female reporters to receive advice from an American famous speaker and journalist. Jan Hopkins and attendees also discussed about challenges and opportunities that Vietnamese journalists are facing in the coming years. Jan Hopkins was the anchor of the daily CNN financial news show Xuất. Hopkins now runs Jan Hopkins Strategic Communication and Marketing Group.
British Council Vietnam held a seminar on enhancing graduate employability, piloting World of Work in Hanoi on Wednesday. World of Work is an initiative unique to Britain's Liverpool John Moores University. It aims to make graduates the most valued by employers.
World of Work, or WOD, is an initiative devised by Liverpool John Moores University, one of the largest and leading universities in the UK, to enhance their students' employability. Successfully piloted in Malaysia, now it has great opportunities to be introduced in Vietnam too. World of Work ensures that every student is equipped with the skills they need to stand out from the crowd and successfully engage in the world of work. These skills are highly valued by employers. They include analyzing and problem solving, team working and communication. Another meeting of the program will be held in Ho Chi Minh City on Friday.
Broadcasting is one of the most long-standing traditional trade of Vietnam, starting from small-scale production. Broadcasting profession so far has strongly developed in terms of both quantity and quality. Let's visit the famous broadcasting village of Vietnam to see how this business has been growing.
Vạn Điểm is a small village. It is located in Nam Định province in northern Vietnam. This village was known as Yên Xá in the past. Yên Xá or Vạn Điểm is one of Vietnam's broadcasting cradles. Vạn Điểm broadcasting village used to make simple products like worshipping objects. Nowadays, the village products are diversified from censers to Buddha statues and dignitary statues.
Ngày xưa ấy, thì các cụ chỉ đúc những cái đồ dùng dân dụng đơn giản. Thế nhưng trong quá trình phát triển của thời gian và quá trình phát triển của xã hội đi lên ấy, thì lớp người kế tiếp theo người ta sẽ có những cái sáng tạo thêm, và từ cái ngày đúc đơn giản và ngày nay đã trở lên đúc được những cái sản phẩm rất là tinh túy và rất là cao siêu.
Over a long history, this traditional job is still upheld. 300 households among the total of 326 households in Vạn Điểm village are engaged in broadcasting. Nowadays, this trade not only helps the villagers earn a living, but also popularize the name of Nam Định bronze products. The craft village has contributed to the construction of many national projects. They include the statues of King Lý Thái Tổ, located next to the Hoàn Kiếm Lake at the heart of Hanoi. The job expertise is passed on from generation to generation within local families.
Cái này là cha truyền con nối, tức là quê hương chú là cái làng nghề đúc đồng truyền thống nó có khoảng 300-400 năm nay.
Broadcasting is a complex process, including many stages. Each stage also has its steps with different required techniques. They include mold making, chemical mixing, bronze boiling, bronze casting, and cooling. If the mold making and bronze boiling stages decide the quality of the product, it is the cooling stage to raise the beauty of the product. Cooling stage has many steps including polishing, carving, and coloring. Bronze products taken out from a foundry look a little rough. Under the hands of the polishers, this roughness totally disappears. Bronze casting is not only a traditional handicraft job, the job is a combination of many arts like painting and carving. There are many meticulous details. To have these details done, the workers not only need skills, patience, but also the love for the job.
Cả cái bức tranh này thì thường là cũng phải tầm khoảng độ 20 hôm. Đấy. Thì khó khăn là những cái chi tiết nó rất là nhỏ, đấy, mình phải tỉ mỉ, đấy, mình phải kiên trì để làm nên một bức tranh mỹ mãn này thì nó phải cầu kỳ.
For the product to have a harmoniously beautiful color, it needs to be colored. There are many ways to color the product. The most common method is pouring colored water over the product. Mixture of color powders will be boiled into high temperature. This mixture then will be poured all over the product. The workers have to constantly repeat pouring for the color to be beautiful and enduring. Coloring is the final step of cooling stage. This step will finish the product casting process. Not only providing products for domestic needs, broadcasting businesses in Vạn Điểm village have also started to export products abroad. This move promises great potential for development of Vạn Điểm in particular, and the traditional craft villages of Vietnam in general.
The story about the Vietnamese traditional broadcasting village has wrapped up our news bulletin for today. For comments and feedbacks, please send an email to netvietdaily@gmail.com. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.